Call the meeting to order, please. Roll call of Alderman.
Alderman Hazel.
Here.
Alderman Kinsella.
Here.
Alderman Schmidt.
Here.
Alderman Bittner.
Here.
Alderman Randall.
Here.
Alderman Tyler.
Here.
Alderman Anthony.
Here.
Alderman Ovian.
Here.
Alderman Silsby.
Here.
Alderman Dintelman.
Here.
Alderman Seibert.
Here.
Alderman White.
Here.
Alderman Galletti.
Here.
Alderman Elmore.
Here.
Alderman Wigington.
Here.
Alderman Musgrove.
Here. All the aldermen are present. Roll call of department heads.
City Attorney Horner.
Here.
City Treasurer Hart.
Here.
Police Chief Clay. Fire Chief Poor. Ken Vaughn. Royce Carlisle. Jamie Matrit. Tim Gregowitz. Jim Schneider. Leander Spearman. Chuck Schaefer. Bob Sabo. Debbie Belleville. Anissa McCaskill.
Anissa McCaskill and Chuck Schaefer are excused. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you would stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Just a couple reminders for the council members. Again, please speak into the microphones. This meeting is being videotaped. It is played on cable a couple times in the next couple days. And also the audio, it helps when we have to keep these tapes and use them, refer to them from time to time. Likewise, if anyone, when we get ready to do public participation, please step up to the microphone in the middle of the aisleway there and speak into it so that we can hear everything clearly and record it. When we do start public participation, I just ask that wait till you're called on. When you step up, give your name. Try to keep your comments to 2 to 3 minutes. Try to keep your comments focused on what's on the agenda, if at all possible here, unless there's something pertaining to city business you can explain that would be necessary for us to listen, and make sure it's of good character. So at this time, we have no public hearing this evening. I'm going to open public participation. If anyone would like to speak, I'll call on you. Yes, sir, you can be first.
My name is Dennis Wygant, and I live at 605 South Pennsylvania Avenue. I have a little concern about the property next door to me, the greenhouses. Well, starting out, I got some pictures. This is my yard, which has got molds in it, which I never had before. You know, it's from the greenhouses, and that's where they're all coming from. And I just want to know what can be done. That's just the molds. This is the grass. This is around the greenhouses.
I can't see real well from here.
Well, I'll bring them up to you.
No, I'm saying, have you, Dennis, I don't mean to cut you off, but have you talked to our housing?
Yeah, I
department?
talked to Bob. He's trying his
Okay,
damnedest
okay.
to solve the problem, but his hands are tied too, like everybody. But I just want to show you what I'm living next to.
Okay, sure.
And here's the others. That's the growth.
Okay.
Okay, another concern is, you know, I'm retired, and I want to know what, you know, there's tearing up my yard, which I never had mows before. 27 years I lived there. I can't use my backyard, my family, my grandkids, because the mosquitoes are so bad, they're infested in the greenhouses, that I can't even live in my backyard.
Are the greenhouses empty now?
Yeah, they've been empty a year and a half.
Okay, I didn't know if they had continued to stay empty.
Yeah,
I wasn't aware.
and the mosquito, I go, my yard goes to the greenhouses almost. And I walk over to the edge of that greenhouse and the mosquitoes just cover you. I mean, and like I said, I'm paying taxes. And I feel that if I can't spend 6 months out of the year in my yard, why should I pay half my taxes? I mean, there's concern here. I mean, something's got to be done. I mean, this growth has got to be cleaned up.
Okay. If you'd give the pictures to Bob and I'll talk about it tomorrow or so. We got staff
Okay.
meeting this week.
And then, you know, even gotten that, the glass is all broken out. The buildings are falling down.
Okay.
So, you know, that's my concern. And like the moles, you know, like I said, I never had them 27 years. You know, and I love my yard, but I don't want it all tore up.
No, I understand.
You know, who's going to pay for this?
I understand your concerns. I will tell you, as you know, we're going to dig into it a little deeper here, see what we can find out, see what action. We'll talk to the attorneys if there's anything addition that isn't being done yet that we can do, and then we'll get back in touch with you.
That's fine, that's fine.
Okay.
I just want some, I just want the place cleaned up.
I understand.
At least. Or maybe sprayed, somebody can spray it.
Okay, we'll look at, we'll investigate some of our options, okay?
Okay. You want the pictures?
I'd give them to Bob Sable right
Okay,
there.
okay.
He's right there.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Rose Wilson, 322 West I Street. I too am a taxpayer, so I found it really peculiar when I tried to get my last FOIA that it was difficult. It cost $7 and a few cents, and the first demand was that I would come up to City Hall and pick it up. Do you honestly think, Your Honor, that I would go up to City Hall to that counter again to who knows what I'm stealing that time when I go up there? I found it also very peculiar for the reason a lot of time was spent on this investigation of police officers, not to my doing. It was strictly by the motivation of Mr. Cook. None of it was started by me. It took a lot of officers' time. There seemed to be no concern of cost. There's also no concern of cost when Mr. Cook calls Mr. Romanek during office hours or goes there for interviews. And there's absolutely no concern that Mr. Cook could quite possibly put the city in jeopardy of litigation. Mr. Cook in the statement clearly lied repeatedly. And I think the
Point of
News
order, Your
Democrat
Okay,
I think she should be able to finish.
he lied.
okay. Okay, I think, Rose, as Garrett said, I think you covered it, and I think we understand your concern, and as you know, it's, it continues, it's been looked at, and I think that we certainly hear you, okay?
Well, and I also, one more thing, I think with everything, Mr. Cook needs to resign.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, council members, audience, I've got a couple of comments.
Your name, please?
I'm sorry, my name is William Big Bill Bremen. I live at 5500 Nora Court, Belleville, Illinois. I have a couple of comments this evening, and I have a question also. I came here to defend Mr. Cook. Mr. Cook is my friend. Mr. Mayor, Rose Wilson attacked Mr. Cook previously when I attended council meetings. You did not stop that particular attack on his person. It says right here in your own rules, sir, personal attacks impugning the character and integrity. Now, excuse me, sir, she just got through impugning my friend, Dallas Cook, who has done a stellar job for the city of Belleville. And I don't think he deserves to be impugned and have his character dragged through the mud. Sir, if I had attacked you, I would be drug out by the chief of police standing back there. And I think it's a shame that you allow this to happen. You let her continue to talk last time. At least you stopped her tonight. Now, as far as the comments that I have, I was at the shrine this morning. I took photographs of the caterpillar and the clump of dirt that's sitting there. I guess it's been 2 months since that passed. I noticed that when St. Elizabeth's got the okay for the project to go ahead, they were in construction the very next day, vigorous construction. So I'm just saying, I'm just wondering. This morning, the Belleville News Democrat had a very wonderful opinion piece talking about the splash pad in East St. Louis. It ended with asking the question, if the kids wanted to cool off, perhaps they could cool off sledding at the hill where the Belleville pool used to be. My question is, will the children be allowed to sled down that hill in December? And will the black children also be allowed to sled down that hill? That's all I got to say.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Lillian Schneider. I live at 219 Kansas Avenue, Belleville, Illinois. We don't need a soccer complex. What we do need is a swimming pool. When has the people asked for a soccer complex versus a swimming pool? All we have ever heard was Lindenwood was going to go into a pool with us. What happened to that? All big talk. We are the largest city south of Springfield and no swimming pool. Maybe the city aldermen and the B&D, that's a joke, should ask the people what they want. They're the ones paying for this. What most of the people will say won't even be a soccer complex or a swimming pool. It will be, we want more police officers, fix our streets, etc. for the infrastructure of this city. Chesterfield wouldn't give in for all the infrastructure improvements. Just go to Belleville and they will give everything. It's like it's Halloween night. What does the city have to be told? Why does the city have to be told from outsiders what we need? What about the comprehensive plan that we've spent almost $200,000 on? In there, I cannot find a soccer complex. The big poster outside in the foyer, it had swimming pool wrote on it. It didn't have a soccer complex wrote on it. People asked for a swimming pool. And what are we going to give them? Maybe it would have been kind of nice before all this money was spent that the aldermen or any of the other city officials in the B&D would have took a poll to see what they want before we spend this money we don't even have. It's terrible that we're giving these big corporations all this money when the governor's going to make cuts and they're cutting services to handicap and the poor. When we're giving money out to the big corporations, I suggest everybody that hears this, because the B&D won't report it, that you call Governor Rauner and tell them how Belleville is giving all this tax-free money away for when they build. Maybe the enterprise zone won't go through and this project won't go through.
Yes, sir.
Michael Hagberg, 701 Centerville Avenue. I was reviewing the packet, and in there is the bond document. Part of the bond document is a very good history of the finances of the city. And one thing that I was reminded of was that in 2005, the council voted to raise the home sales tax by 0.25%, specifically labeling it a streets tax to repair streets. It's currently being used to pay off some bonds, but my question is, we're up to $1.1, $1.2 million coming in. Is this money just tossed into the general fund, or is it actually kept in a separate fund? All too often we've heard the excuse, can't fix your road because you're not in a TIF. Well, what's happening with this sales tax that everybody is paying, and whether or not that money should be used and accounted for to fix streets that are not in TIFs? Thank you.
The back of the room.
Stuart Lannert, 318 South 29th Street, Belleville. I also would like to give my wholehearted support to Mr. Cook. Well, for what it's worth, my reputation is not the best in the city, but I still support him. And here's the thing, the promoters I read in the paper took $86,000 from the Belleville 200 celebration, and this wasn't the first time they scammed somebody. They also scammed the Sparta Sporting Complex. Belleville's got to be more careful of who's with the taxpayers' money, and I can't understand why the city would pay $135,000 for a lawyer to try to keep the hospital, when the very next day Bishop Braxton of Belleville was out there shoveling furiously dirt for the new hospital in Fairview Heights. And the permit problem on 8th Street, I read in the paper today or yesterday, well, that's not the first time Belleville used the excuse of permits. They also used the permits about the railroad on the 17th Street project. I would think they would get their permits in line first. And Bruce Cook, I think, on the Meredith home would probably like to see the park done that he paid for before he dies. And this St. E's Club, or whatever they want to call themselves, homos, I don't know the correct term, but it's next to the mayor's flower shop. They got the sidewalk blocked from morning till night and all through the night. So anybody in a wheelchair can't even get through there, and I thought Belleville was wheelchair friendly. And, okay, that's all.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Hello, my name's Paul Bergman. I live at 23 North 40th Street. And my concern again is about these property that the city owns. I know of 3 or 4 places on West Main Street. I think I brought it up about this before, but there was some flood zones or anything. These properties on West Main, what is being done? How long is the city going to own them? How are we going to be able to sell them? Or what's the criteria? Here, we got another, right here, a motion to pay $21 or $20,000 and change to have a home taken down or a building taken down, but we have these empty lots. Which ones are going for sale? How is the public knowing this? We're seeing empty revenue, and how much does it cost to maintain these homes, whether it's these properties where it's cutting the grass? I don't understand why the people aren't getting a chance to get it back, or we can develop it instead of the cities paying to upkeep it. That's not making us any money either.
Have you talked to the housing department, sir?
No.
Okay. We just had this conversation, I guess, recently again, didn't we, Bob, at Housing Committee? And there's gonna be an attempt to put several of them back out, advertise again in the future?
This fall.
What's that, this fall? And we do it usually, what, once a year?
2 years ago since we did it.
Okay, 2 years ago, we did it last. We advertise, but there are, and I can't go into it in detail tonight, but there's an awful lot of these properties that when we purchased them with flood buyout money, they're to be left in green space. They can't be resold. Some of them are for sewer easements that Royce's group is working through, and we're needing them in the future, so we're holding, you know, there's a number of reasons. We'd be glad to go through the list with you. It's pretty clear, but we do put a number of them up for sale from time to time, and we take closed bids, and that procedure's advertised. It starts in the Health and Housing Committee, and that's been the practice for a long time, and we do sell them. But there are a lot of them that we have to wait until court matters are over, and there's a lot of them that there's stipulations that we can't sell.
Well, what about, let's say, use the example of the property Trebo used to own there at West Main and 17th Street.
That's correct.
The vacant lot. Is that going to be
If-
sold?
If somebody comes in there with a development, we would love to talk to them.
Well, why not put it up for bid for somebody who wants to buy it?
Well, I think developers, you know, we've had a few nibbles on that property, and I think that the more that the economy's turning now, I think you will see that.
But this is city property. Let the citizens, if they want to buy the property, let them buy it.
Well, that one there could be bid on. That's one there, example of one that could be, a proposal could be made.
You know, it may not get the most that you want, but
But
I
we
sure
believe,
hope-
we believe that one has some value to it when it comes to development coming up. Now that the economy's starting to turn and we're starting to see some development interest again.
Well, let me ask you this then. How long are we going to let that property, just that one, for example, one will be let sit there and wait for development. If nothing is developed, when will we put that up for sale?
I can't give you an exact answer tonight. I'm probably doing way too many answers here. You can come talk to me. I know you were in City Hall today talking to Dallas. You can come talk to me. We can go over the list. I don't know, did you show him the list today? We got the
Okay.
list is all color-coded and then pretty well self-explanatory. And I think
Okay.
it's in your office, right? So, I mean, you can go over the list and you'll get a lot of your answers right there from
Okay.
going through that list, okay?
All right, thank you.
All righty. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am?
Janet Schmidt, Alderman Ward 2. I just would like to make a comment. One of my constituents, while exercising her right to get a FOIA, was accused of a crime. And I am offended. I've read through all the police reports, I've listened to all the tapes, and I don't like what was printed in the paper. I don't think Brendan Kelly, the state's attorney, his entire statement was printed. And I think, as long as I've known Rose Wilson, she has worked tirelessly for the good of this city. And I don't like to have her character assuaged, but also I want to say that I think our chief of police and mayor were not involved in this. They did not file false police reports, and I don't like the allegations that Mr. Cook has made on the radio against the chief of police. I think he's run a good department. I know in my time in Belleville, I'm safer. The police department seems more well-run today than it had been. I'm safer. I think neighbors in my neighborhood, and it's one of the worst in the city, feel safer and have commented on how good the police department is. And I want the chief to know that he has my support and that of many of the citizens of Belleville from the calls I've had. Thank you.
Okay. If there's no other comments, I'm going to close public participation.
A lighter note, got nothing to do with this.
Okay.
Lighter note, 2 minutes if it takes that much of your time. I thought,
You want to use the microphone, please?
oh, okay.
Lillian would like to use the microphone, too.
Hey, I thought hard and long about the flag thing. That stayed with me. I couldn't let that go. You guys were so kind to me and polite about this stuff, and I thought about that. I'm a stubborn guy, but I still thought about how could we find a solution that would work for all of us. And so what I did is I went back and I looked at our flag, our patch. And it's nothing unique about it. I mean, it's the city flag, and I think it was straight one time, and we put a swirl in it, and that's about all we've ever done with it. And so I said, well, let's look at another way to do this. And so what we did is I got with the staff, and we wanted to incorporate, you can get it right there, a new patch. And this patch would incorporate both the American flag and the city, and we did something else. We brought some uniqueness to it. What you see in front of you now is the new design that we've done for our shoulder patches, which will be worn on both shoulders, and now you'll have the American flag on both shoulders. So we're going to do that. That's been done. We did not spend taxpayers' money for this. This is actually asset forfeiture money. This is so the drug dealers pay for this. So we will have that in place. You guys will see that. It's just something that I wanted to share with you guys and make sure that we could find a solution that I think fit all, because you guys supported me. And you didn't force me, Mayor. You didn't say you will do this. You could have done that. The aldermen didn't jump down my throat. They just let me know that they would have preferred to keep the flag somehow in there. And I think this does it for all of us. That's all I have, folks.
I like it. I like it when you brought it to my office last week. Thank you. Okay, public participation is closed. And we are moving on to the regular portion of the meeting. I have no presentations, but I do want to recognize that the character word of the month is caring, meaning being compassionate and showing others you care. Approval of the minutes. City Council asked for a motion to accept and file the City Council meeting minutes from July 20th. Motion by Alderman Hazel, second by Alderman Schmidt. Discussion about the minutes. Hearing none, all in favor of accepting and filing the minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Payroll claims and disbursements, what's your pleasure? Yes, ma'am.
I move we accept and file the claims, payrolls, and disbursements.
Motion by Alderman Schmidt. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Anthony. Do I hear any discussion? Roll call.
Hazel.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Bittner. Randall.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Ovian.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Dentelman.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Elmore.
Aye.
Wigington.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Motion carries. Oral reports. We have a city attorney's report dated July 31st, 2015. Do I hear a motion to accept and file?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Schmidt, second by Alderman Bittner. Any discussion on accepting and filing that report? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Oral reports, we have zoning board. I want to first of all tell you that we did get a notice here that Corey Duncan, who was requesting the special use permit at 122 Delmore Avenue for a home occupation of gun sales, has withdrawn, right, Eric? It's withdrawn, so that first one is taken off.
So start with.
Okay, very good.
Okay, 11A2, Case 20, July 15, AMC Belleville Incorporated, request for a special use permit in a C2 heavy commercial zoning district for a liquor license for Buffalo Wild Wings located at 5600 Belleville Crossing Street.
Do I hear a motion? To have, motion to accept the zoning board's recommendation, have the proper ordinance drawn. Motion by Roger Wigington, second by Alderman Schmidt. Discussion on that motion. All in favor to accept their recommendation for this case and have the proper ordinance drawn, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
11A3, Case 22, July 15, Herbert Patterson, a request for a special use permit in a C2 heavy commercial zoning district to operate a used car dealership located at 913 Sherman Street.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve this.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Hazel. Sir, you got something different than what?
I'm sorry, sir, I didn't know we had to stand up before, we have a petition against this action.
Okay, you have a petition against it?
Against it, yes, sir.
Well, you can present it to the clerk. I'm sorry if you didn't know the procedure. I haven't seen you here before.
No, sir.
Why don't you bring it forward? Is it from,
All right.
how many signatures are on there?
We've got pretty much the whole neighborhood, around all the Julia properties and the entire block.
Were you guys aware that there was some opposition?
I had more copies.
If I may interrupt here, on the way in, we were told they had one and they meant to talk at the public participation. My motion was really going to be to deny. It was to accept what they were presenting. So I don't know, can I amend my motion at this time? Or what do I do? Can I withdraw? I would withdraw the motion and make a motion that we deny this car lot.
My purpose of seconding the approval was the lack of concern voiced by anyone during public comment.
Do you want to move forward with the denial, or do you feel there's any need to table this to investigate further since this petition just came forward now?
I think it might be wise to table it.
I mean, since this is new information just brought forward now,
Your
I mean,
Honor.
yes.
If I may, what was the recommendation from zoning?
Zoning had 5 people there, it was 3 to 2.
So that
it
no
was not enough to
recommendation came
pass.
forward.
There
It
was
had to
no
have 4.
recommendation?
Yeah. Came with no, I remember reading that now in the report. Yeah, if someone's wanting to make a motion to table, we would vote on that first.
What's the reason for basically the neighborhood not wanting it to go ahead and basically be passed?
Hold it a second. We're not gonna start this now because we're gonna set a bad precedent for going back going back and open this up. I'd like to go to Alderman White next real quick.
Yes, Your Honor. In view that this information was not present at the zoning board, I would recommend that this be tabled until the zoning board has a chance to review it and bring it back to council.
So was there no opposition brought forward to the zoning board?
Your Honor, I was at the zoning meeting. There was opposition. There were neighbors speaking out against it. And I believe the zoning board, I know they weren't in favor of it.
Well, it didn't get a passing recommendation, right, Eric?
Yeah, there was no recommendation by the zoning board.
Yeah. you have to have at least four yeses
I
to
believe,
pass something.
I believe they suggested that Mr. Patterson be here, and I don't know if he was here and participated, so.
So, in lieu of all this discussion, obviously there's some, I don't want to say miscommunication, but maybe not good debate on this yet with this coming forward tonight here for the first time you've seen.
Well, Your Honor, I feel as though because they missed their chance at the public participation, that's because they're unaware of how this works.
Sure.
I could see that we could postpone it and would not have to take it back to the zoning board because that would delay it an entire month. And I'd like to see
Bring it
us
back here in 2 weeks
bring it
with a
back in
chance
2
for you
weeks.
guys to have conversation with them. Is Alderman White, is that your motion?
The original was for it to go back to zoning board, but I'd be willing to change it to postpone until the next council meeting for further review.
Okay, so your motion is to postpone for 2 weeks until it can come back for public input and for a chance for you all to maybe have some time to, Alderman, to talk further with these people. Do I hear a second to that? Second by Alderman Schmidt. We have a motion on the floor to postpone for 2 weeks and bring it back here for a decision based on chance to maybe better to investigate some of these, pass around the petition and to ask some questions. Everybody understand the motion to postpone for 2 weeks?
Yes.
All in favor of the motion to postpone signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? We will postpone this for 2 weeks. You guys, I suggest you talk to your alderman. I would suggest you get copies of the petition that you presented here tonight. Well, we can certainly make copies of that and get it to you guys too. Okay, and I think that, and also note that at the next meeting, I think it's the 17th, I believe that's the correct date, that you would need to speak during public participation, you and whoever else from the neighbors wishes to do so.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay? All righty, so we'll postpone it for 2 weeks. That's all we need to do there, right? Okay, we move on to the next case.
11A4, case 23, July 15, Margaritas West, Javier Gutierrez. A request for a special use permit in a C2 heavy commercial zoning district for a liquor license for Margaritas West, located at 4817 West Main Street.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to comply with the zoning board and pass the special use permit for Margaritas West. So move, and have the proper ordinance drawn.
Motion by Alderman Anthony, do I hear a second?
A second.
Second by Alderman Bittner, do I hear any discussions? All in favor of this motion to approve the zoning board's recommendation to have the proper ordinance drawn, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
11A5, case 24, July 15, Righteous Pig Barbecue. A request for a special use permit in a C2 heavy commercial zoning district for a liquor license for Righteous Pig Barbecue, located at 124 East Main Street.
Alderman White?
Yes, Your Honor, I recommended the motion be approved as recommended by the zoning board.
We have a motion by Alderman White, second by Alderman Seibert, to approve this recommendation by the zoning board and have the proper ordinance drawn. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second by the two board aldermen. If there's no further discussion, all in favor of this motion to have the proper ordinance drawn, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have a motion for Master Sewer Committee. Ed?
On behalf of the Master Sewer Committee, I'd like to make a motion to approve the bid for the open operator station utility tractor and an 8-foot center drive rotary cut. The bid for $34,435.64 from Shiloh Valley Equipment.
Motion by Alderman Dillman. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Wiggington. Do I hear discussion on this? Roll call.
Hazel.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Bittner.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Ovian.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Dintelman.
Aye.
Seibert. White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Elmore.
Aye.
Wigington.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Motion carries. This next item, it comes, I brought it from administration because when it actually left the committee from Streets and Grades last meeting, it was for the first lowest bid, and we could not come to terms with all the paperwork and all the bonding, contracts and everything as the procedures require. So we come to you tonight with a motion to approve the bid in the amount of $20,585 from Hayes Contracting for the demolition of 720 South 20th and 421 North First. We've used them before, right, Bobby? No, sir. Hayes? Yeah, we have. Okay, we've used them for a couple other properties, though. This is not the first time. And they are familiar with all the procedures, and this should not be a problem. We have asked for a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Schmidt. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Bittner to approve this bid. The bid changed about how much, Bob? What was the first one?
16,000.
So it's about $4,000 more approximately.
Mayor.
Yes.
Just a question. Now, who owns these two properties once these buildings are demolished? Are these still
That's to be,
owner?
we will lien them. We will lien them, and there's a possibility at some point down the road, the court could award them to us. But as of right now, we don't own the properties. Right, Bob?
Okay, but there will be liens placed on them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. They probably already are for grass cutting and other things, but there'll be a demolition lien placed on
Mayor,
it.
do you happen to know, are these locally owned properties? Do we even know, are they owned by outside interest? Bobby, do you know? Locally owned?
Okay? So we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve this contract tonight with Hayes Contracting. If there's no further questions, roll call.
Hazel. Kinsella. Schmidt. Bittner. Randall. Tyler. Anthony. Ovian. Silsby. Dentelman. Seibert. White. Galletti. Elmore. Wiggington. Musgrove.
Motion carries. We got communications.
12A Children's Dyslexia Center Annual Walk, Friday, October 30th, 2015. Request to approve the Children's Dyslexia Walk on Friday, October 30th, 2015 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. to help children with disabilities. The walk will start and end at the Scottish Rite.
Your Honor, could we read these as a group?
Anybody object if we read these communications together? No. Okay, proceed.
12B Special Olympics, Saturday, October 17th, 2015. Request to approve a street closure for a charity event that will benefit the Special Olympics, requesting street closure to be from A Street to the alley south right behind Tavern on Main to be closed off from this event, not requesting for the parking lot to be closed or either access points to the parking lot. The Office Lounge is partnering with WIL 93.7 and Prairie Farm employees to raise money to be donated to the Special Olympics. They are requesting barricades for these street closures if it is permitted by the city. The event will take place on October 17th from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. After 10 p.m., all fundraising will be brought inside the tavern to respect the local tenants. 12C, Lindenwood University, Belleville. Thursday, August 20th, 2015, communication from Lindenwood University, Belleville, requesting to have a new student mixer with electronic music from 9 p.m. until midnight. 12D, Lindenwood University, Belleville, Friday, August 21st, 2015, communication from Lindenwood University, Belleville, requesting to have a housing gathering with electronic music from 9 p.m. until midnight. 12E, Lindenwood University, Belleville, Friday, August 27, 2015. Communication from Lindenwood University, Belleville, requesting to have a foam party on their tennis courts with hip-hop, electronic, country, and other music from 9 p.m. until midnight. 12F, Midtown Scarecrow Harvest Festival, Saturday, October 17, 2015. Communication from Belleville Main Street requesting to have the first annual Scarecrow Harvest Festival on Saturday, October 17, 2015 from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. This event will require the use of the City of Belleville parking lot on the south side of the 900 block of West Main Street. This event will also need assistance with the use, delivery, and setup or tear down of picnic tables and the placement and pickup of trash receptacles. 12G, Velo Force Racing. Communication from Velo Force Racing requesting approval to place a banner on North Illinois Street to promote the event. The content of the banner would include the event name, date, and time of the event. This council previously approved Velo Force Racing to hold their event on August 16, 2015.
Before I ask for a motion, I just want to note, I've talked to Lindenwood University on 12C. I've asked them to stop that at 10 p.m. because it's a Thursday night, a school night, and grade school's back in session. They had no problem, but they don't know. It's going to start earlier than 9. It'll run more than an hour, but it's going to probably start more like 7 to 10 or something like that. But just so we did ask them to adjust that to 10 p.m. Do I hear a motion to, yes, you okay? Yeah.
Also, I heard on there the foam party on the 27th on the tennis courts. We have postponed that date, so that date will not.
So is that 12E going to be postponed, that particular?
Yes, the foam party on the 27th will be a later date in the fall.
So right at this point in time, you're not asking for approval now. So we're going to hold, ladies and gentlemen, postpone 12E's request, and on 12C, we're going to change it from approximately 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., okay? Do I hear a motion for those changes? Motion by Alderman Schmidt, second by Alderman Tyler. Do I hear discussion, anything about the questions or any of the changes? Yes, sir.
I have a question under 12F, the Midtown Scarecrow Harvest Festival. The downtown businesses are asking for communication But this does not close West Main, correct?
No, no. No, this is only the city parking lot, the way I understand it. Is
Right.
anybody here from that event? Okay, so it's just the parking lot
Just
only,
the
not
parking
West Main,
lot.
yeah. Okay? Okay, with all those comments and changes and adjustments, everybody understands the motions to approve, the motion and the second to approve these communications. All in favor of these communications signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We move on. At this time, we have no petitions. Resolutions, we have no resolutions. Ordinances, before we start the ordinances, I just want you to note, ordinance 15A would be withdrawn because that request was withdrawn tonight. And ordinance 15C would be postponed because we just decided to postpone that situation until the next meeting. So with that, do I hear a motion to read by title only ordinances 7877, 7870, I'm sorry, scratch 7877, I just made my own mistake. 7878, 7880, 7881, 7882, and 7883.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Wiggington to approve, read by title only. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Schmidt. Do I hear any discussion on?
Your
reading-
Honor.
Yes.
If we could break out 7882, please.
So we could read the rest of them by title only and as a group, the ordinances, and we'll hold 7882. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
15B, ordinance number 7878, an ordinance approving AMC Belleville Incorporated. 15D, ordinance number 7880, an ordinance approving case 23, Margaritas West, Javier Gutierrez. 15E, ordinance number 7881, an ordinance approving case 24, the Righteous Pig Barbecue. 15G, ordinance number 7883, an ordinance amending chapter 52 of the traffic code.
Do I hear a motion approving those ordinances? Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman White. Any discussion on the ordinances with the stipulations we just made? We're holding out for a special vote here on 7882. We withdrew 7877 and we postponed 7879. With that, if there's no other comments, roll call.
Hazel.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Bittner.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Ovian.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Dentelman.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti. Elmore.
Aye.
Wiggington.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd ask for a motion to read ordinance 7882 by title only. Motion Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Tyler. All in favor of reading by title only signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
15F, ordinance number 7882, an ordinance authorizing and directing the issuance, sale, and delivery of the general obligation bond series 2015 of the city of Belleville, Illinois, providing for the levy and collection of an annual tax for the purpose of paying the principal of and interest on said bonds as they become due, and authorizing certain other documents and actions in connection therewith.
Do I hear a motion to approve this ordinance? Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Schmidt. Discussion. Alderman Randall?
Yes, Mayor, it's my intention to abstain on the basis that my employer is engaged in the retail municipal bond business.
I understand. Duly noted. Other than that comment, is there any further questions or comments on this?
Mayor?
Yes.
I know it says tax. Is there any plans to levy a tax on this, or is there any?
Jamie?
At this time, no. General obligation bonds have to say that in the ordinance, but we've never levied for the principal or interest payments on our bonds. We abate that.
Great, thank you.
Okay. With that question answered, roll call.
Hazel.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Bittner.
Aye.
Randall.
Abstain.
Tyler.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Ovian.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Dentelman.
Aye.
Seibert. White.
Aye.
Galletti. Elmore.
Aye.
Wiggington.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Motion carries. I don't know of any unfinished business tonight. Miscellaneous and new business. Yes, sir.
Mayor, I'm not sure if I'm correct, but maybe you'll know, is this 2 months in a row that only 5 members have been present at the zoning meetings?
I don't know. I have to talk to Anissa. She's out today. I'll have to ask that question. Eric, would you make a note? Do we check on that?
If that is the case, I'd ask that you address it however you see fit. I just think that I if memory serves me correct, we sat here last month and talked about how only 5 people were here and they didn't have enough for, and 5 out of 7 members, 2 months in a row. I just think you might need to.
Well, we need to talk about that. I think 5 is still a quorum, but when they can't reach 4 votes, then it comes to no recommendation. So, I mean, I think that's part of the concern there.
Especially if it's 2 months in a row, is my point.
Okay, we'll take a look at that. Motor fuel claims, the amount of $1,036.80. What's your pleasure? Alderman Seibert, approved, second by Alderman Schmidt. Discussion? Roll call.
Hazel. Kinsella. Schmidt. Bittner. Randall. Tyler. Anthony. Ovian. Silsby. Dintelman. Seibert. White. Galletti. Elmore. Wiggington. Musgrove.
Motion carries. I ask for a motion to go in executive session for the discussion of personnel, litigation, workers' compensation, property acquisition, or transfer of property.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Schmidt, second by Alderman Tyler. Any further discussion on this motion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll probably have one motion when we come back, but we'll be going to executive session. Need Mr. Thompson to stay. Yes. Okay, we're back in open session. We have one item of action to take, 18A1. I'd ask for a motion to approve the city attorney to settle, work on the final documents to be settled on a city employee's workman's comp settlement in the amount of $25,758.16.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Schmidt. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Bittner. Discussion. Roll call.
Hazel.
Aye.
Kinsella. Schmidt.
Aye.
Bittner. Randall. Tyler. Anthony. Ovian. Silsby. Dintelman. Seibert. White. Galletti. Elmore. Wiggington. Musgrove.
Motion carries. Here, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Alderman Schmidt, second by Alderman Galletti. All in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? You can stay. Okay, we're